U.S. President Donald Trump says Ukraine peace deal will either happen fairly soon or not at all as he meets British Prime Minister Keir Starmer at the White House. French President Emmanuel Macron is on a two-day state visit to Portugal to boost bilateral ties and urge European unity.
PKK leader Abdullah Öcalan has called on the group to lay down arms after 40 years of insurgency against the Turkish state.
U.S. President Donald Trump says peace talks to bring an end to Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine are advancing rapidly. The remarks came as Trump welcomed British Prime Minister Keir Starmer at the White House to discuss the ongoing peace efforts.
President Trump, can you get a peace deal done in Ukraine?
Yes.
How confident are you, sir?
Thank you very much. It's a great honor to have Prime Minister Starmer in the Oval Office.
Trump says that his team are keeping close contact with Russia's Putin and Ukraine's Zelensky to explore ways to end the fighting. He warned, however, that the scope in which a deal can be implemented is very narrow in time, adding that it'll either be delivered fairly soon or not at all.
We're working very hard to get that war brought to an end. I think we've made a lot of progress, and I think it's moving along pretty rapidly. And I want to thank all of the people that are here that have been working on it. And we'll let you know what happens. It'll either be fairly soon or it won't be at all.
From His Majesty the King.
Starmer expressed his country's readiness to put boots on the ground in Ukraine to ensure their security in any potential peace agreement. The British Premier also noted that the deal must be right and cannot reward the aggressor, warning that it sets a dangerous precedent.
There's a famous slogan in the United Kingdom from after the Second World War. That is that we have to win the peace. And that's what we must do now. Because it can't be peace that rewards the aggressor or that gives encouragement to regimes like Iran. We agree history must be on the side of the peacemaker, not the invader.
Trump will meet Zelensky on Friday at the White House to sign a U.S.-Ukraine minerals deal, as well as discuss recent developments. French President Emmanuel Macron is on a two-day state visit to Portugal to boost bilateral ties and urge European unity. The French leader is coming off the back of a Washington visit on Monday where he met with U.S. President Donald Trump. Macron attempted to highlight the importance of sticking by Ukraine to his U.S. counterpart, whose second term in office so far has been highly critical of Europe.
Je confirme qu'en tout cas, il le recevra demain si les choses vont bien et je m'en félicite et c'est une très bonne chose. Et j'essaie de toujours être là pour en effet faciliter les choses, mais l'Ukraine, c'est en effet un combat pour nous qui est important. C'est le combat pour le droit international, pour la souveraineté, et puis c'est le combat pour la sécurité des Européens. Et il est existentiel pour nous. Et donc c'est important que le président Zelensky puisse expliquer aussi au président Trump ce qui se joue chez lui.
Macron will visit Porto on the second day of his trip. He'll also sign a range of agreements covering political, economic, and security issues. He's also met his counterpart, President Marcelo de Sousa, as well as Prime Minister Luís Montenegro.
Numa cerimónia no Centro Cultural de Belém, aqui em Lisboa, o primeiro-ministro português, Luís Montenegro, congratulou o presidente francês pelo trabalho desenvolvido nas últimas semanas em contexto internacional para dar passos positivos em direção à paz na Ucrânia. Emmanuel Macron não falou da situação no leste da Europa, mas referiu que os valores partilhados, como o multilateralismo, estão a desmoronar-se num mundo cada vez mais fragmentado. Joana Mourão Carvalho para a Euronews em Lisboa.
The rare earths agreement between Ukraine and the United States is the first diplomatic test for Kyiv and Washington, says Yulia Pavitska of the Kyiv School of Economics. And given that the U.S. previously stated that the administration wants to achieve peace through power, Kyiv didn't expect it to be power over them instead of Moscow.
And nobody actually could foresee the scale, how it will turn with this deal, and that what deal we receive to be signed is a completely barbaric deal that just is supposed to force Ukraine to give all the sources, to turn all the aid that was previously provided in terms of grants to the loan unexpectedly. The first draft was not in favor of Ukrainian interest and was questioning the Ukrainian sovereignty.
She believes that any deal to be signed should not disrupt or violate any existing arrangement that Ukraine has for its euro integration.
I believe that for now it's important that this high-level agreement that was now sent to US has the separate line that it shouldn't be contradicting or violating any agreements or anything that was already signed with EU. Also, I believe that likely this note that the whole agreement needs to be ratified in the parliament. It's also kind of a security helmet for us, because we have parliament that also won't vote just for like some weird agreement that will be contradicting all the other legislation we have towards EU.
And most importantly, it should include the security guarantees which Kyiv has been insisting on and which President Volodymyr Zelensky intends to raise with Donald Trump in their White House meeting on Friday.
Ursula von der Leyen's team is on a mission to India. The College of Commissioners has landed in Delhi to revive a strategic trade partnership with a country that is often seen as difficult to do business with. With this move, the EU is trying to diversify its partners since their relationship with the main ones, China and the US, is increasingly tense. The two-day trip, that includes a meeting with India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday, will be key to boost cooperation on tech. During their meeting, von der Leyen and Modi will discuss, among other things, the future of Ukraine and India's role in the peace negotiations. At the same time, each commissioner will meet with their counterpart. In 2024, the EU and India exchanged 120 billion euros in goods.
The controversial influencer brothers Andrew and Tristan Tate have arrived in Florida after authorities in Romania lifted travel restrictions on the pair. The Tates were arrested in late 2022 and indicted on charges of luring women to Romania where they were sexually exploited. Andrew Tate was also charged with rape. Both brothers deny the allegations. In December, a court ruled that the case couldn't go to trial because of multiple legal and procedural irregularities on the part of prosecutors. However, the case remained open. Romania's anti-organised crime agency said that prosecutors approved a request to change the travel restrictions on the Tates. But the brothers are still required to appear before judicial authorities when summoned. Meanwhile, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said the brothers aren't welcome in his state.
Florida is not a place where you're welcome with that type of conduct in the air. And I don't know how it came to this. We were not involved. We were not notified.
Both Tate brothers are vocal supporters of US President Donald Trump. Asked if his administration had pressured the Romanian government to release the Tates, Trump said he knew nothing about the case.
Know nothing about that. I don't know. You're saying he's on a plane right now?
He's back. They already did.
Yeah, I just know nothing about it. We'll check it out. We'll let you know.
The Tate brothers' legal battles aren't limited to Romania. 4 British women who accused Andrew Tate of sexual violence and physical abuse are suing him in the UK after the Crown Prosecution Service decided not to prosecute.
Despite a global democratic decline, democracy is healthy in Europe, according to a recent study. Out of the world's 10 most democratic countries, 9 are in Europe, and half of them are Nordic. Topping the rankings are Norway, New Zealand, and Sweden. In the report, countries are divided into 4 types of political regimes: full democracy, flawed democracy, hybrid regimes, and authoritarian regimes. With a score of 8.38 out of 10, Western Europe has the highest democracy index in the world. However, The report mentions a general discontent among voters which fuels support for anti-mainstream parties.
In Europe in 2024, the score edged up slightly. And of course, we know we had a number of elections in Europe, and most all of the countries in Europe are rated either full democracies or flawed democracies.
The report highlights some notable changes. With a score of 7.99, France has gone from a full democracy to a flawed democracy, following the political instability caused by the dissolution of the National Assembly, snap elections, and the overthrow of Barnier's government.
So it was really this functioning of government that brought France down just below that 8% mark. So I don't think it's an irredeemable situation for France to move back above that number 8 marking if they can improve the functioning of government over the course of the next year.
In contrast, Portugal, the Czech Republic and Estonia progressed from an imperfect democracy to a full democracy.
In Portugal, we saw an improvement in 2 areas, functioning of government and political culture. And that's really what brought Portugal's score back just above that 8% mark.
On a scale of 1 to 10, the Democracy Index is based on 5 criteria: electoral process and pluralism, civil liberties, functioning of government, political participation and political culture.